Zoe Salanda is the leader of the female operators. It's her job to break in the females, send them under deep undercover to get secrets, nation city secrets or whatever, and then pull them out. However, the way she does her job is she tells the lionesses when she's training them, if you get in and you get in good, the best way for me to know that you did your job is you don't come home.
What
So
do you mean by that?
they train them with the anticipation that they are not coming home. They're gonna die on this mission. That's what that shit is. You are going to die on this mission.
I
If
thought
you
Yeah,
it don't mean like you're gonna get married or something. Like you're gonna
nah,
lock in.
like, nah,
yeah,
nah,
no,
you're gonna go so deep undercover that you're gonna get all the secrets and then you're gonna filter the secrets out. But 9 times out of 10, you're gonna die because you're gonna be too deep undercover.
and basically it's the CIA and what they do. Well, Zoe Saldana, she answers to some higher people in the CIA, and
Nicole
she
Kidman
has a whole team of
Nicole
like
Morgan Freeman. Those are her bosses.
top-notch, high-level Marines, Navy SEALs, Army men, like, and they put these people together, and what they do is deal with like foreign affairs. So she had a colleague who had a team that's in Mexico dealing with like the shit in Colombia and stuff. Her team is dealing with Kuwait, Syria, Iraq,
Mm-hmm.
and dealing with ISIS and stuff like that. So in particular, so it started off the first episode. One of the lionesses that she had, the people in ISIS, they seen a cross tattoo on her, and once they seen that, it was a wrap. She was hiding up under like the floors in a house. Once they found her, you know what I mean, they started, they was getting ready to kill her. So basically, she ordered a drone strike, blew everything up. But and now she got a new girl that she's trained to get close to the wife of a um, man in the Middle East that is rich off of oil.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember them having a conversation saying that, you know, these men that get their wealth from oil in the Middle East are like slumlords to the whole country, to the whole Middle East. But they try to make it seem like the United States is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, they're trillionaires. You know what I mean? Like talking like Amazon and Apple put together money. Like they got a lot of money over there. Um, but a lot of countries over there in the Middle East is like incredibly foul. So what they're trying to do is take out these targets by getting spies and make sure that they get close to the women so that that spy can find out, okay, this is who he is, this is who he works with, this is where he's going to be at during this time, and they just gonna kill him. But they do different stuff like if man, it's just fucking crazy, man.
Season
Like,
In season two, the girl that's the new girl in season one is the old girl in season two. So she uses her to
okay,
help her train a girl that they need to send undercover, which is not really undercover because it's her family. So the girl that they got to train is a helicopter, a helo pilot for the SEALs, but her father is a cartel kingpin. So they gotta kidnap her, kick her out of the army, change everything, and then send her back home undercover as herself. So the shit is crazy, yo.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
crazy, yo.
But it is interesting too because, like, say they got to take somebody off the streets. These is like people that walk around with M16s and bulletproof vests, riding down the street in a Ford Expedition. You know what I mean? And it's like they just take people
Yeah, they
whenever
just
they want.
take you.
Like whenever they want. Um, it's a real interesting show though. Real interesting.
I mean, the best thing I get from that shit, besides being a fan of Zoe Salanda, whatever the fuck she do, like, I'm sorry, like she got me. But the shit I get from that is that look, we've been talking about this shit for the past year, man. Like, we think women aren't as capable as they are to put themselves in position to do some real crazy shit, but they can do it just as well as we can, and they got something working better for them. Like they got a vagina, bro. Like, so I think the fact that they can get these women into all of these situations that is supposed to be built for like Green Berets and Navy SEALs, and the only thing that Shorty got to do is wear a bathing suit. Well, like shit is weird, but they get them in everywhere, bro, everywhere.
I mean, it's a reality. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like it be happening. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's a real thing. Like I think this show is based off a real thing in the CIA. Like it's
Oh
not
yeah,
like they didn't create lioness from nothing. Like
Yeah,
there's
that
real women
concept
that do it.
yeah, it didn't come out of midair.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. No, yeah. This shit is real because it's scenes where like they pull up at a military base and she flashed them her ID, and she have other people in the car and they like, who is them? And she was like, don't worry about them. And they don't say shit. You
Like, yeah, I noticed that shit too. Like
like,
she really her. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
She pull up in a
yeah,
room, say one thing, and like everybody got to shut the fuck up, like because she only
yeah.
to Nicole Kidman. She don't answer to nobody else but the Secretary of State. She don't answer to
Hmm.
nobody else. So when she
Hmm.
pull up, and motherfuckers is like, "What you doing here?" You know, her response is like, "Fuck is you doing here?" Like, like
Hmm.
she only answered to one person, bro.
And it's like, say in Texas, somehow like a local police department catch uh El Chapo. You know what I mean? Zoe Saldana will send her team to that police station, blow that bitch up, and either kill him or take him to like, a federal regulated place. You know what I mean? That's how they get down.
Well, I guess that's just like more of a theme because you have like masculine energy within women and then feminine energy within men.
Hmm.
Like not necessarily feminine, like it's a negative thing, but just the
Right.
understanding of duality. So, like,
Hmm.
would y'all deal with a woman that is a part of the CIA?
Nah, man, I'll be jealous. That shit too cool. But and like in all seriousness, I wouldn't. I would want to know that person, though. You know what I mean? But I doubt something like that could work out because working for the CIA, don't nothing come before that. You know what I mean? Like it's just gonna take a good chunk of your time. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that a man or a woman can properly be, a wife or a husband, or a father or a mother and be in the CIA. I'm sure there's certain jobs, but it's you play such an important part to the United States government that they're not willing to let you do anything but what they ask you to do.
If you plan on having a Mr. and Mrs. Smith duo, I suggest not.
I mean, I think that's the only way it'll work. Both of y'all in the CIA.
My thing is, how do you know? I don't think she's going. Y'all ever seen American Ultra?
Is that when the lady she was a handler for a dude?
Yeah, that's my shit. American Ultra.
Mhm. That's if that's what I'm thinking about. That was crazy because yeah, Yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, if I don't know, then damn, damn. And
So
I mean, that's a
you
good
cracking a
point.
CIA agent?
I think it's something about that whole sleeper cell shit that's crazy to me, bro.
I
Like that's
think I think that's an interesting point though, Hood, because those agents be having the most peculiar assignments. You know what I mean? But these people is like ridiculously smart, ridiculously, versed in combat and psychological
five
shit.
languages and
Yeah, like, but then they'll be a school teacher somewhere for whatever reason. You know what I mean? It's real interesting.
Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow type energy type shit.
Yeah, literally.
Switch it up on you in so many different ways.
yeah, and that was just an extension of of MK Ultra, that American what was the joint with Jesse Eisenberg Hood?
Um,
Can't forget about Salt.
wasn't that, I thought it was American Ultra, but I can't think of the other thing he was in.
Was that might be an American Ultra.
I just remember, American Ultra, but I do remember something else. I just can't think of their name.
That's it. That's it. That's the one. 'Cause that's the one with the chick from the vampire movies.
Yeah, he was a straight up sleeper cell, and like ain't nobody even know like what he was on at all. So it's like being able to be like to just be like to not even know if you a CIA agent is just crazy. Like that's just wild to me. And I know that MK Ultra, all of that stuff really exists. So I just be like slow to like kind of get close to people because I don't think people just announce, "Hey, I'm a handler for the CIA. Nice to meet you."
Yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And I know a lot of motherfuckers that just come on this panel like, "Yeah, I work for the government." I'd be like, "Oh, really? I'm just clocking you,
Like
but
so
we cool.
willy nilly too, right?
Yeah, we cool. We
Like it's like
cool.
an everyday job for everybody. No, it is
Yeah,
not. Like,
y'all, you work for the government and you listening to my little old YouTube channel? That just don't. It seem weird, but I'm gonna just rock with it though.
yeah, yeah.
I ain't gonna flip.
I think I think American Ultra and they clone Tyrone go together.
Niggas be feeling some type of way when we on that cold Tyrone. They niggas go.
It's a couple of parts. I'm gonna skip like a couple of parts. This interview with his name is Jason Taylor or
Is it Williams? I think
Jason 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 Wilson.
Wilson.
And he talking about men crying, so I want to get y'all thoughts, you know what I'm saying, in reference. There's a couple of parts, so he gonna go from one part, then I'm gonna like for 2 minutes, I'm gonna stop it, then go to the next part.
All right, so
Let me know if y'all can hear it. Can y'all hear?
no,
Y'all can't hear?
no.
No.
Type shit. Let me stop sharing. Hold on. Hold up. Stop sharing. Then we can screen share. Let me know if y'all can hear.
Writing this book, I'm like,
Yeah,
man, what allowed
Yes, sir.
you bringing that up? As I was writing this book, I'm like, man, what allowed my boys the freedom to cry? Because when I first started, I embodied just only discipline. In martial arts, that's all they saw. They didn't see a tender side to me. But when my mother was had developed dementia, she had a mini stroke, and my wife had came into the era where we were training, and I knew something was wrong. And she called me over and I said, hey, what's going on? She says, Mom had to get rushed to the hospital. She just had a stroke, a mini stroke. That was the first time, brother. So here I'm in the middle, my gi, ready to train, my kids excited, all the fathers are there, and I get overwhelmed with emotions. And I'm fighting it. And I'm like, man, what is this conflict? David cried throughout the scriptures. Yeshua, Jesus cried. Why can't men today release what I believe from studying the Most High's way to release stress hormones from the body? This has been proven by Dr. William Frey. In that moment, one of my students get up, say, Sharath. I didn't want to be called sensei, which means teacher. Call me Sharath. In Hebrew, that means servant. So I'll always be reminded of my role in the cave of Adullam. And he said, Sharath, can I pray for you? I'm like, yeah, sure. When those kids surrounded me, man, I broke down. That was like the gateway or the key to not only their freedom to be human, but the father's. And so when that video went viral, we had already been set free. And God wanted to use that moment to set the world free, the men who are emotionally incarcerated.
Emotionally incarcerated. That's a great way to put it.
So, do y'all feel like men need to cry more? Do y'all feel like men are in a space where they can't cry even if they wanted to? Like, how do y'all feel about what he just said?
Can y'all hear me good?
All right.
Dessert.
Can y'all hear me? Oh, okay, but yeah, the way I feel about it and his thought, one, a lot of men don't have the space to, and it's something that men should be connected to. Because one, a lot of men they can't cry in front of their partner, even have that type of space with them, because they feel like they look weak. So it's not about being vulnerable; it's about being transparent. And then also from a personal experience, shit, I had a tournament this weekend. I got my ass severely beat, nigga. When I tried to walk away, I didn't want no one to see my tears, but like I let that shit out. And then my one homie ran into me and saw it, and he was like, "Oh, you good, bro? This is part of the game." But I didn't cry most because I lost. It was more certain things that hit me, and I had to really think about it and let it out. Cause like I was talking to my OG, and he was like, don't close your heart off to shit. Have your heart open. Understand your emotions. Don't never avoid them. Don't put them away because they gonna come out in a different form, and you're gonna regret it if you don't have a proper control. And that's why I even got into martial arts. So hearing Jason what he speaks into, I rock with it heavily because it's like, you know, getting beat up in front of people is embarrassing. Imagine getting beat up in front of your girl. Just all types of shit. You got to be, as a man, you got to do shadow work around that. Even not being able to defend yourself. So that's my thoughts on it.
Type shit. How y'all feel, Sacred Jabri? Should men
Um,
more?
I think being comfortable enough, even to cry alone, you know, um, and being able to be able to tap into your feminine energy, because I look at like crying as just another way of like taking care of yourself. If you gotta express yourself in that way, I don't see nothing wrong with it. But I think it comes from like childhood, and maybe it's our culture as Black folks. But like, quit crying, boy. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, or even getting clowned as a kid for crying about something. Um, I think a lot of times men don't cry is because they feel that they can figure whatever it is out, and crying is just kind of like almost giving up. And that's one thing that a struggle with masculinity, feeling like you are powerless. And I think when you cry, it's like it's a feeling of helplessness. You get what I'm saying, and not knowing what to do. Um, but I'll say this: you can still continue doing what you're doing while you're crying. It ain't like you just throwing in the towel when you cry. So I would say, men just have to be a lot more comfortable with themselves, and do the proper emotional work, because I've cried journaling. I didn't journal so much to a point where it's just like, damn, like, I really went through X, Y, and Z, you know, um, or just times where I spazzed out before in life. Uh, I never really got into fights as a kid until I started playing sports. And I cried after every fight I had, whether I won or I lost. And it was just for me, just being so like mad, and so angry, because for me, early on, sports was a great way for me to let out a lot of frustration and stuff as a kid. Um, so that's what I would say, just
Yeah,
being
and
a lot
I
more.
always just like,
No, you good?
no, I was just like with the crying kid crying in sports. Like as a kid, I always used to hate when they used to tell me or tell the kids like, it's not that serious. It's just a game. Like this ain't this serious to me. My motherfucking, I'm putting my life on this shit, motherfucker. Don't tell me this ain't serious to me. You know what I'm saying? Let me know how to handle this shit. Like, nigga, winners win, losers lose, nigga, and I lost today.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, I think there is a huge necessity for it because what we do with stuff that we push down, unless we are aware of the severity that it's going to have on our consciousness, um, the reality is that it's like the titty effect, right? No pause, right? Like when you're putting air in a tire and you putting it in too fast, it creates a titty, so to speak, on the tire. And if you're not paying attention, that shit is just gonna explode, right? So like your emotions are like that tire. And if it doesn't have an easy flow, an even flow, right? Then you don't have a place to release all of that built up feeling, tension, intensity. And because you don't have a place specially dedicated to being able to release that, then that means it's going to come out wherever it wherever it comes out, and it's not going to be assigned to it, right? There's not going to be um, a a prerequisite to why this is coming out, why this is happening now. No, this is going to come out, and it's going to come out on people generally that you care about. It's going to come out generally in places during things and times that are important to you. And so having a place to release is paramount for any being, but especially a man. Because in this world, there's not that many places for a man to go in order for them to be able to have the opportunity to release.
And having a brotherhood is important because it's like a lot of men hold this shit in because they feel like other niggas gonna make them feel some type of way because they felt tender or they got in their feelings for a quick moment or they trying to really understand themselves. And it's like you shouldn't be around them type of people. It's just like that. If motherfuckers see you down and they see you weak, only thing they should be doing is putting the candle to your flame and making sure that bitch get a little bigger so you can feel get right and get back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's like perspective on your perspective of the world. If your perspective is like, you know, I feel this way or I'm holding back this type of stuff, then the natural recourse of it is to like release it. But I feel that like if you create a healthy balance internally with your divine feminine as a man, like you balance it consistently, like you're consistently aware, I think that you always create that space throughout your life. But I don't think, like, say for instance, your perspective is you gotta take care of your mom, you gotta take care of your mom, take care of your kids, take care of everybody, but you don't never gotta take care of you. Well, that's your perspective. That's gonna lead to one day shit hitting the fan and you breaking down in the middle of the highway like, oh. But if you had a level of balance where you did take care of you and you did what you could for people, but you didn't like hold on to shit. So I will always think like the shit that people hold on to, that's not like a set rule that you gotta hold on to that shit. That's just something that niggas choose. And then when they hold on to shit, overwhelmed, stress. A lot of niggas be stressed over shit. And I always think about perspective. Like, you on a spinning rock, floating through space. Didn't even ask to come to this bitch. Mom and dad busted a fat one day, and here you come. Why, niggas giving you milk and shit. You like, I'm a baby. Now you the man, and now you got to deal with the world. And it's like, yeah, you can think like you got to just do so much and be so much, but that's a perspective. That's a perception that I feel like a lot of men try to live up to, can't live up to it, and they have to deal with that emotionally. To whereas, like, you know, I mean, I feel like if you do balance your inner feminine, you get okay with who you are as a human. And then some people will dehumanize you. When you do the inner work, you realize, oh, this bitch using me. Let me get up out of this relationship. Let me get up out of this job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't limit yourself. You actually know what you can do, what you can be, because you've developed that inner work, like you said, like shadow work. Ad, we was talking about it all day
Yeah,
today. Like really
yeah. Shout out to work, right?
understanding, understanding what that even looks like for real. Because if you never did it, then you would be sitting back like, damn, I need to like, I don't want nobody to see me cry, or I'm overwhelmed and I'm in my relationship and I don't feel comfortable telling her, bitch, get a job, you know what I'm saying? Or sell some pussy on the side. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't feel comfortable telling her that. So you just be like, let me just be a man. Let me find a fifth job. Let me work 5 jobs to take care of my family. Yeah, you're gonna break down one day. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna be sad. But I don't feel like it always have to be like that. Shout out to the chat. But then he goes on. He got another part uh redefining masculinity through being soft or something to that effect. Oh, it's muted. Hold on.
She won't get the care she received. She needed. So at that moment, brother, I said, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. I'm gonna leave it all on the field for mama.
Yeah.
And that's what changed me, because I would have never filed her nails being just the hyper masculine male I was. I would have never massaged her scalp. She would lose her just her mind and be angry. And I would just come, and I had to stay calm and say, Mama, it's gonna be okay, and just rubbing her scalp. And then when Kathy was sick and down, I had to wash Mom up. And men who are only like masculine, only are stuck in that box, can't do all things through Christ. Because when he needs you to be a nurturer, you can't. When he needs you to be a gentleman, you can't. When he needs you to be a true lover, you can't. When he needs you to be long suffering, you can't. But if he needs you to fight and provide, you can. So
What y'all think about that?
Yeah, I think is what he's saying is in line with like we complete beings. You're not just a barbarian that only have melee skills. You know what I mean? Like is more to life in general. And it sounds like he just the experience really opened his eyes to that. Because I look at masculinity as like you doing what's needed to be done. Yeah, your strong suit may be to, you know, protect the family and go to work. You know what I mean? But sometimes you gotta, sometimes you gotta clean the house. You know what I mean? Your girl might be menstruating. It might be one of the worst ones she done had. It ain't nothing wrong with running her a bath. A bubble bath and shit. You know what I mean? Light some candles for her. I think we get to like men are too partial to masculinity and women are too partial to femininity. A lot more partial to masculinity as well, and we really allow that polarity, that principle of gender to fall by the wayside. And I think that's where a lot of confusion happens in life, because if you just constantly just like I'm masculine, I would think you would be expecting, feminine energy around you of some sort, because it just don't make sense. It just don't make sense. At the base physical level, the masculine and feminine principles express themselves as biological sex and at a higher non-physical realms, including the emotional and mental realms. These two gender principles express themselves as qualities, attributes, or specific expressions. Right. So it's not that I'm a male, so I'm masculine. I'm a male and I'm masculine and I'm feminine. That's a female, she's masculine, she's feminine. It really doesn't have that much, I would say, to do with your biology as much as it has to do with your mentality and how you approach solving problems. You get what I'm saying? He basically was just saying like, I couldn't have solved those problems if I was only in my masculine principle. You know what I mean? And you can't tell me that he wouldn't have suffered. You know what I mean? But it's like it's about being able to do, or it's being able to be like dependable, and that goes beyond masculine and feminine. You know what I mean? Because I think it just comes down to being able to solve the problem. But we need each other. I'm not saying we don't need each other, but I think that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think if we
Yeah,
taught masculine and feminine values, then we will understand a lot more than if we're just like, all right, you're a boy, you learn this, you're a girl, you learn this. I think that puts us at a disadvantage.
hmm From a humanity
yeah,
perspective.
Tank, he recently was talking about that he done fighting because he like, I had all this rage and anger, and it's like, that shit starting to anticipate. Now I want to focus on like, the love of my heart and like really focusing on my kids. So it just shows like, there's always another side of us that we tend to ignore, or we got so much rage and trauma built up inside of us that we only see one side. We only see how our inner world is made to project the outer. So it's like sometimes we gotta really dig beneath this shit and ask why we angry. Because sometimes a lot of anger is really another form of us covering up our sadness. Because us men, we do not want to look weak. We do not want to be, seen that so we can be picked on or attacked.
Yeah, you said a mouthful right there, brother. The fear of being found out is greater than that of being an evolving man. Like you would rather not be seen as feeling sad, so you prefer to be seen as being mean and hard. That's crazy.
I think it's a survival mechanism in some neighborhoods, in some instances. I remember like, cause I'm very like empathic, so I remember like going to the dispensary one time, and like it was this dude who was like a security guard. He was doing the pat downs, and like for whatever reason, like whenever I touch somebody, I get more or less like a download. And so like when he was patting me down, he was like real hard, like extremely hard. And it was like he was using that hardness to protect like a past memory of when he was vulnerable and took advantage of, and he built his whole adult life into protecting his inner child, you know. And so some people might come across men who are very broken on the inside, because this world teaches men how to be external. They don't teach men how to develop emotional mental, because emotional mental are feminine principles. But if man has an emotional mental life, I don't care who he is. But if you never develop that and express that, you put yourself at a disadvantage, to whereas your perspective is going to be skewed, because it's just like, well, I got it, so why ain't I whole? Why ain't I like at peace? But you never even figured this inner part out. So it's like
And you
we got
said
a long way to go as men.
you said something there, because it's one thing to not have the ability to want to express yourself in a less than favorable light, you know what I'm saying? But there's another thing when it comes to having the ability to be a nurturer when you need to be a nurturer, because men
Hmm.
have that ability as well. There's
Hmm.
also the ability for you to be soft with your partner. So imagine if you can't be honest about your vulnerable aspects within you, how are you then going to truly be soft with your partner?
Yo,
It
surface.
goes many different ways, like being empathetic to if she needs help. You know, it can go real deep in this relationship eh, gamut, but it goes back to like how men feel, where we have to be hypersensitive a lot of times to a world where don't nobody give a fuck about us. So us being vigilant, it does us a disservice, because as a man, who's being vigilant to your emotional and mental life? And I'm not saying that they supposed to, but in reality, who's ever going to do it? Therefore, it's like it puts you at a tough spot as a man at all points. Cause really don't nobody care. I went to fucking Chuck E. Cheese, dropped $1.50 today. Kids was like, all right. Like it wasn't even shit to them. They was just like, all right, what we doing next? You know what I'm saying? I'm just like,
Hmm.
oh man. I needed y'all to be just a little bit appreciative, like just a little bit. Like
Mhm.
a 50 for 45 minutes is crazy.
Mhm. Mhm.
But that's how it go. I wanted to cry.
Surface.
I ain't even-
That's
I ain't
I
real.
gonna
felt that. Like,
lie.
Yeah.
now, with that word you said earlier, vulnerable, I feel like we should change it. Only reason why I say that is because when Jason was talking about this earlier in the video, he was talking about men and them being vulnerable and being able to open up. And he was saying that, us men, we shouldn't be vulnerable. Is because when we look at the word vulnerable, it means to be attacked, right? So it's like when we do that, we create that. So he was talking about we should be transparent. You know what I'm saying? Being open, being pre-communicative, letting people know so they shouldn't have to question so much, where they can be able to communicate accurately. Like, okay, like I understand what you're talking about, what you're going through. Now I know what I need to do. Should we try this? Can we attack it this way? Because it's like enough, even for a woman, you know, she could be like, I'm trying to be vulnerable for him, but I keep getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I leave myself open and boom, because you leaving yourself to get wounded.
So where's
Which
this
I think,
coming from? Like, was like, where is it coming from? Like, why I want to be? I feel like we be like, not specifically, but just like be like on the internet, the motherfucker be like, yeah, you should be more vulnerable. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I in a happy, open, positive relationship? Where does this concept of vulnerable come from? Is it just a mere talking point? Because when you look at the etymology, that shit looks like nasty work. Nothing about this
It
says
sounds like gender war.
I love this person.
Yeah, it sounds like gender war. You know what I mean? It's like an underlining thing. Like,
Honestly,
yeah,
vulnerability to men is like women hearing the word submission, right? Like niggas hear that word and run to the hills, bro. Like, what do you mean vulnerable? What? What do you mean? I'm just gonna let people attack me? Nah, like that don't even sound fun. But if you think about it, people gonna attack you anyway, right?
hmm,
Yo,
So
this the last place I want to be attacked in my relationship.
facts,
right,
facts. But if you haven't ran the entire spectrum as far as your emotional capacity within your relationship, then something tells me vulnerability might be what you need. Not saying you, obviously, because it's a range of emotion that both people need to be able to get to, regardless of the gender. Right? You need to be able to experience vulnerability so then you can explain that to your child. Because vulnerability to you as a man look 10 times different than it does to a child, right? And if you have a child that is experiencing vulnerability at inopportune moments, you are going to want to give that child the words and the understanding in order to comprehend how to deal with that when it comes up in the future. But if a kid never sees their parent deal in vulnerable situations, what does that kid turn out to be? Someone who
right. But
can't failure, someone who can't deal with strife, someone who can't deal with the back and forth, someone who can't deal with not being number one. Like all of these things go in hand when it comes to vulnerability.
I think it's more so of not making yourself vulnerable, but how do you react when you're in a vulnerable situation? You know, because it wouldn't make sense to make yourself vulnerable. Um, I just think when a man is trying to like manipulate or finesse a situation, it don't really turn out well. And I think transparency and honesty is what's going to order and structure your life. You know, the way that you talk to people around you. You know what I mean? That's either going to draw them closer to you or exterminate them. The same for like the person you're in a relationship with. I remember recently, I think last week, they said like if you want to do a litmus test about your relationship, just be brutally honest. And shit, up to now, my relationship, when we brutally honest with each other, we end up talking for like 5 hours. You know what I mean? And it's like, damn, I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? Or I was thinking that, but I didn't really want to say it because I didn't know how you was, going to react. But like, I know I try to, at least every 7 days have a conversation like that because There's so much shit that you don't know about the person that you claim to be in a relationship with, you know. But um, transparent, presenting no obstacle to the passage of light, so that what is behind can be distinctly seen.
See, this is some shit that I want in my relationship. Like, I like when a girl says, you know what? I've been through some wild shit in my past. It make me want to get closer to her versus somebody that's like, you know, more or less closed off, you know? So it's like me, I try to be as transparent as possible, like open door policy. I don't like really no secrets or nothing like that in the form of a relationship because that's kind of the way that I go. And it's just like, I understand like the concept of vulnerability, but then again, I don't understand it because it's like, capable of being wounded. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why I gotta be wounded in this particular construct? And because it's like shit happens a lot of time, but it's like psychonautism, spirituality, occultism. I don't feel like it absolves you from shit, but it does give you a deeper understanding and not in a way to be intentional in this particular matrix. Not to really avoid shit because you do got to deal with shit and you do got to build character. But I think like I said earlier, perspective on a lot of shit is a solution sometimes.
Oh, that's absolutely. And I think, I think where it gets misconstrued, like especially within the conversation that we're currently having, you know, when somebody says to you, "Make yourself vulnerable," like that is a problem itself. Like, why would I want to make myself susceptible to whatever bullshit is happening and going on? No, I think vulnerability is a state, and I think it's a state that only comes when people are experiencing things that they a could not foresee, b that they're not prepared for, or c they just don't understand. And so anytime anybody is presented with a situation that they can't fully comprehend and don't understand, and it's taking them out of their normal mode of operation, there is a vulnerable standpoint within that. There is a vulnerable part that exists. And I think not knowing or not understanding versus not knowing is the difference, because you don't have to make yourself vulnerable to ultimately end up in a space where you feel vulnerable. That's just crazy. I think understanding that vulnerability is a possibility is really all that's necessary. I think understanding that there's no such thing as man above everything, I think that is necessary. So that then when there are situations when a person comes into a space that might be vulnerable, yeah, you're not gonna, cut your losses and run for the hills. Like you're capable of dealing with it and moving through it, as opposed to avoiding it and it coming up anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I was reading the Circle 7 Quran, and part of it, he's talking about how, man is a soul, and that soul is covered by the flesh, but the flesh and the mind is not a part of who man is because man is connected to God, you know? And so it's like perspective where I personally feel that, from a Christian perspective, they are really connected to the flesh, they're connected to the material life, and it's hard not to be. But it's also a perspective that, you know, that goes without saying a lot of times of who we truly are. So it'd be like, somebody walking through your house and you like, why is you attacking the air in my home? Was you like, I'm just walking through your crib, bro. Like, no, you hurting my air, bro. Like, back up. Like, it's like I really feel you right now. I feel your presence. Like, you know what I'm saying? But it would be a perspective. So if you can, I'm just a spiritualist. So I'm always have a spiritual perspective in reference to when people have mundane ways of processing their emotion and mental life, because that's always a choice. Because the choice could be like, damn, when my grandmother died in my 55th lifetime, that really just impacted me so deeply. I'm still not over it. I was living in Egypt in 1976. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to talk about that because it's not conscious. But because it is conscious, we want to play ping pong with it, ring around the rosy. But we are going to transition out of this body, and when we transition out this body, whatever we was going through is going to wash away. So a perspective to me, I'm gonna wash it away now, and then see what I'm left with. And usually, a lot of times, it's joy. So I would have cried if my perspective was, damn, this bitch cheated on me. I'm hurting. Or people have transitioned. I couldn't make it to my aunt's funeral. Like that didn't sit right with me. But at a certain point, I made her a offering plate. You know what I'm saying? She loved fried chicken, so I cooked her fried chicken. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But I had a dream about her that next night. You know what I'm saying? So it's just more of a confirmation. So it's like, okay, I'm at peace with myself. You know what I'm saying? Because my perspective is like, cause I'm not, of course, nigga, I'm not a robot, but at the same time, maybe I'm too emotional sometimes. I gotta figure this shit out. Cause if I'm crying, nigga, that's over. Like I will feel helpless. I will give up. So I really have to challenge my perspective when I'm going through shit on a day to day basis.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of when I was listening to you talk was, nigga, is your heart lighter than a feather? Because
Right,
like that is the
right.
question, right? Like
That's
that's
that's Egyptian mythology. That's not Christian mythology though.
at
In
all.
the Bible, they crying, but Anubis is in Egypt. Like, nigga, is your heart lighter than a feather or not? Because you're not making it past Libra, bitch.
That's a fact.
You're
That's a
not
fact.
making it past Libra, bitch. So your
Yeah,
heart either lighter than a feather, or you gonna cry because some shit happened that you didn't want to happen.
yeah.
And I promise you, I can't I feel them, but I don't feel them at all, Serpent. Like, I don't feel them at all. It don't resonate with me. But I get it. I get the perspective. But I also understand a different ancient perspective of living multiple lifetimes and just being present in this lifetime in the moment. Cause I didn't make up Hindu scriptures. Now we gonna have to all get on this chat and bear witness to every Hindu nigga lying about reincarnation. Serpent. We gonna have to just bring we just be like, yo, them Hindu niggas was lying, bro. Reincarnation ain't real. This our only lifetime. We about to take it serious.
hmm You know, when you just said that, I for some reason I thought about the parallel between laughing and crying. You
Uh-huh.
know, and I didn't have moments where I
Well,
took a good amount of shrooms and I laughed so hard at shit that had me mad. You know what I mean? Like little shit that my girl may have done, and I'm like, I'm cracking up like I just breathe some of that gas that the Joker give people on Batman, and I'm just laughing at myself. And I remember saying, "Man, you a dumb motherfucker, man. Like you really letting this life shit, you know what I mean? Like really steal your happiness, because it's really no, we really not dealing with no real problems when you really look at what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? But we make a mountain out of a molehill, But I would I would say that, I don't think we should encourage people to cry, but if you so compelled to, don't try to suppress it.
Yeah,
You
that's
know what I
facts.
mean? Like if you there, be there. You know what I mean? Be
Yeah,
there
for
in
sure.
that moment fully. Because it's a reason for it. But you know, absolutely
I
do
would say
everything
we
that you
all have
can.
been there. We have all been in there where we just like, all right, I'm about to cry now. Everybody move back. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure
Yeah.
been there. Like, all right, these tears
Well,
is
I'll
not
be right
about to
back. I'll be
stay
right back.
in this body. I'm about to let loose in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then sometimes I knew the tears was coming. Sometimes this shit just completely caught me off guard. This one
Yeah.
time, my kids had told me like, Dad, something. They was like, Dad, we appreciate you or something. I started crying and shit. But my kids had seen me cry, so the second time they was like wanting some shit, so they tried to do it again. I'm like,
Ah.
they tried to get that same emotion. I'm like, oh, these niggas ain't shit for real. Like,
Them niggas is emotional gangsters.
yo.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I done cried in front of my boys. They for sure cried in front of me. So like, but yeah, it's
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
boys cry, bro. So I mean, but at the same time, like you said, I'm not condoning a nigga just be like, all right, y'all said cry, right? So
Yeah.
we about
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
cry. Like, nah, bro, we ain't about to do that.
Yeah, because it's like between that realm and laughter and crying, all it does is water releasing from the eyes, right? But laughter, you tricking the universe. You able to switch up and create different thoughts, points, and all types of shit from that laughter. You know, you ever laugh so hard, nigga, that you started crying and you steady laughing?
Yeah.
Like you like,
Hell
Hell
fuck, I
yeah.
yeah.
can't breathe.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
And I think, looking at now, some people might not like it, but looking at situations to where like there's a comedic value in every situation in life, no matter how fucked up it is. It might not be funny to you because it's happening to you or someone that you know, but there's always something to laugh about,
But Jabri, that's the
being a
nature
slow.
of comedy. That's what
Hmm.
comedy
Yeah,
is.
yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. You're right. And I mean, you can choose to have sorrow or you can choose to have joy about it. Um, it's all on you. I think a lot of times you cry, it's a lot more of a
Nah, for
um,
real.
emotional or hormonal response. Because if you crying, that may be signaling or cutting off serotonin, signaling more cortisol. You laughing, that's dopamine and serotonin. You get what I'm saying? Like you can do alchemy right then and there, but not everybody look at it like that. But I think being able to laugh at something is what keeps you young. It's what keeps you in a space of having a light heart. Laughter is the ultimate
I say, because
lightning of spirit.
hell,
Go ahead.
not for real though, because like Dave Chappelle, he was doing alchemy, he was doing stand up, and he was talking about how like not being lame and not being that famous saved me. It's like all these other niggas get invites to Diddy parties, but I'm not. So but it's cool though. I'm here and I'm doing good. Winslow getting all the action. You know, but I don't get an invite. I saw that alchemy right there, man.
Um,
I say the jury has spoken on that that fake alpha out acting hard nigga. Like that shit is over with, bro. That shit is so over with. And it's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy because most women want that toxic nigga, but that is the most unhealthy nigga in the hood. That's it. He's the most unhealthy nigga in the hood.
yeah. You need the most healing.
Yeah, that nigga ain't
they,
never.
they say the poison and the antidote come from the same snake.
Yeah, same
Hmm.
fucking snake. Same fucking snake.
So maybe the hood niggas just actually healing the black community. I don't know. I'm just I'm just looking
Man,
for different perspectives at this point because I don't.
You on the
I
spiritual path. You on that
Yeah,
spiritual.
I'm
hey,
on a spiritual path. Like I'm finding the joy in all in all associations. But no,
man,
I would say like for like for crying, bro, it's been different triggers to tears, bro. Like I was listening to Layla Hathaway. She have a song where she sing in two harmonies with the same voice at the same time. I heard that shit. I just bursted into tears, bro. Like I just like you know what I'm saying. So it's like I don't think it's always limited to negative experiences when we
for
are
sure.
crying. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you tap into different frequencies or you can have different spiritual experiences that alter like if you can do deep meditation and have a conversation with Ganesha or something like that, I think that would evoke tears. Like if just different shit. But I don't think it's always negative when we're talking about tears a lot of time.
I think most of the times that I've ever cried in my life came from positive situations because I wasn't
Hmm.
used to experiencing true, genuine positivity. Like coming from the family aspect of things, right? So like I always pictured and viewed family as being fake. So like when I experience true genuine care and acknowledgement, like 9 times out of 10 that shit made me teary eyed. I get real fucking compliments and real fucking bigged up from people I work with or people I work around or anybody that just knows me on a personal level. They be like, yo, I really appreciate you doing that. That shit gets me choked up. You know what I'm saying? Like it gets me choked up to know that I did something for somebody else when they didn't expect it to happen. It doesn't get me choked up as much to say like, "Oh, you ain't shit." Like, yeah, yeah, I heard that before. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
Hmm.
you use the insecure, sassy nigga. Yeah, all right, I heard that before. You know what I'm saying? But like when
Hmm.
you really get down to the nuts and bolts of it, like my tears came from positive interactions, not negative.
Yeah, that's me too, bro. I think about like I did a ritual at the mound, and I stood at or in the middle of Eagle Mound, and Eagle came right there center into the mound complex. I broke down crying because I had a real connection with my ancestors, and can't nobody take that away from me. Like I cried because I didn't know what else to do. You know what I mean? Like I didn't
Mhm.
like when I have an emotion
And
that I can't
that's
express.
vulnerability, bro. Holy
I'm
shit. That's it.
I'm gonna cry, but
That's it.
I'm not sad about it. Type shit.
That's vulnerability, bro. Right there, what you just described. That's it. Because you didn't know what to do and you were overcome with emotion. That's vulnerability, bro.
But I'm gonna keep reacting. But I feel like I know there are men that struggle with a lot of things, but at a certain point, are men not in tune with their emotions, or is my brother doing advanced yap?
Yeah, it's no sound.
Let me stop sharing it.
An image, not all things through Christ, but I wanted to be an image not of just of him, because he was the ultimate comprehensive man. And so I embodied all of that, but it was my mother, not my martial arts training, not psychotherapy. It was he used her as the ultimate sensei, the teacher, to shape me into the man I became today.
Jeez, man, let me tell you. Hold on, time out. I get a lot of books. I'm reading this one. This is in this
Yeah.
book.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm reading
Oh,
this.
what he
I'm
say?
reading.
I missed what he said.
When you were on, I had to wash mom up, and men who are only like masculine, only are stuck in that box, can't do all things through Christ. Because when he needs you to be a nurturer, you can't. When he needs you to be a gentleman, you can't.
All right, bro, you got to help me understand how he made the leap from men who are masculine can't do all things through Christ. What does he mean by that? Somebody translate that for me.
And then he went on to say, like, when God needs you to be a nurturer and stuff like that, you can't do
Right,
it.
but what
He,
Christ got to do with all, like, I'm just really trying to understand the leap that he correlate in masculinity. Like only Christians can incorporate feminine qualities, and every man that's not a Christian is just masculine or demasculine. Is that's the narrative? Because I
mm,
don't feel like you don't need to add the Christ into it. I think if we're gonna
yeah,
have a conversation about men, let's have a conversation about men because the Christ is a I don't know if I'm using this word correctly. It's convoluted because Christ means different things to many different people.
hmm
The
and
anointing. What is
Is
what
this
is
like,
the
are you talking about
anointing
Christ
have to do with being a man?
consciousness? Like,
Yeah, like, what is you talking about for real?
I know Lecrae is a Christian rapper, so
They
it
both
might
started.
be
They both started in the Christian rap element.
okay.
So
Okay, so they for lack of better words, kind of pandering to that audience, but
mhm.
I think he just that was some advanced yapping. That's all it was. It was some
because
I,
advanced yapping.
I,
when
I
I
was
think about
gonna
it,
You
I
concur.
know,
hear it.
High level yapping. Yep.
he threw that in there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like just
When you a Christ,
because
when you a
check
Christ follower, you drop that
check
thing
this
off.
out though. Check this out, because if you can't react to videos, you in a fractal state, and so you can't do all things through Christ will understand what niggas is saying to you. You just threw it in there, you know, just to make it sound good.
Like,
But it was some more stuff he was saying after though.
yeah, I want
After
to
what
get
he,
into what he was saying, but it just threw me off. Let's get into what he was saying.
When he needs you to be a true lover, you can't. When he needs you to be long
You know how I
suffering,
feel about you.
you
We're gonna put
can't.
that out of you
But
right
if he
now.
needs you to fight and provide, you can. So I want it to be not only all things through Christ, but I want it to be an image not of him, just of him, because he was the ultimate comprehensive man. And so I embodied all of that, but it was my mother, not my martial arts training, not psychotherapy. It was he used her as the ultimate sensei, the teacher, to shape me into the man I became today.
Jeez, man, let me tell you. Hold on, time out. I get a lot of books. I'm reading this one. This is in this book.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm reading this book.
Yes.
Goodness gracious, man.
I just don't think it elicited that type of response. That's why I played it back because I'm trying to figure out, like,
It didn't. It didn't.
Somebody said I got
And like not no that just the vivid thought of you filing your mother's nails. It gets me emotional. It cuts me to the core because I'm like, man, am I that guy? And who do I need to become to be that guy? You know what I'm saying? That's powerful.
That's good. I was even with the title, it's like, how many of us are the wrong man in the moment? How often do we blow those moments? I often compare, our emotional repertoire to the 8 box of crayons versus the 64 box of crayons. I break it down in there. As men, we're used to the 8, having 8, and I tie it to the emotions, but we only pull 4 of those out: anger, boldness, aggression, and maybe fear. Okay? But women, they choose to use all of the emotions that God has given us both.
So what does he mean by that?
so. Like for me, like as like because like Hood said with different perspectives when he was talking about the whole Christ shit, right? No disrespect. Only way I can see is like Christ consciousness, and then like us using the animal and animus, and then him talking about his mother and being able to unlock that feminine side within him. Like that's the only way I can see it to translate to make it sound good. Like to be honest.
I would smoke a bag of that for sure. Like if you translate it like that, I would accept that. You know what I'm saying? That make a lot of sense to me.
kind of feel like we entered the Barry White stage of this video because
I feel like
Practice
he just
what you
flexing
preach.
his beard,
yeah, like
flexing his beard.
he
That's
just
all he doing, bro.
he's using the monotone like theme, you know,
Yeah, bro. He's
so
like
ride
he's
this thing on out and no emotional deviation whatsoever. Everything even keel,
yeah,
just
bro.
one
Like,
way. And let's just say this: for the temperament that he is displaying versus the speech that he is giving, those two things are incongruent, and that's where you see the disingenuousness of his attitude, the way he's coming across. Because you're describing a comprehensive man, all the while being one emotion, one level, one way, all the way through. Talking about your mom, right? Like there was no deviation in emotion whatsoever, right? So my
bro
thing
was
is,
talking about somebody else. He's
yeah,
somebody else's spirit.
like my thing is, there's a certain level of authenticity that needs to come through your message in order for me to feel you. If that authenticity doesn't come through your message for me to feel you, then I can't connect. Now we just sitting up here talking about words. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, there's a lot about this to disagree.
So man, let's switch gears, man. I hope y'all niggas done cried enough and got it all out your system. Let's talk about July 28th, 1999. That was a partial lunar eclipse. Somebody very important was
Yeah.
born on this day. Does anybody have any guess in the chat? Who was born on this partial lunar eclipse? And while y'all trying to guess, always remember that full moons mean that you're going to be successful and fortunate. A lunar eclipse is when that energy is intensified. We all have the possibility to fail, but the reason that we read our charts is so we know how we can succeed without failing. So this person did not fail, right? This person lived up to the billing of being born on a lunar eclipse. Does anybody have any guesses? July 28th, 1999. Do y'all want a hint?
1999, what a time to be alive.
Let's give them a hint.
Out like bitch, little ass bitch ass nigga, like little ass bitch, hoe. Fuck y'all on some real shit. Like bitch niggas make me got a character. Fuck y'all. I ain't got no nigga because I'm such a real nigga myself. And you niggas be like bitch ass niggas, like real deal bitches, like bitch. Bitch, that's what you is, a bitch. And I would call a nigga a bitch so fast, like that's why like I ain't got no nigga because I curse niggas out like bitch. Little ass bitch ass nigga, like little ass bitch. Ho. Fuck y'all on some real shit like bitch niggas make me got a character. Fuck y'all.
We might need another what you call it, another clue.
All right, I got one for you. Um, SINGLE again. Hanging out the window with my ratchet ass friends. Y'all got it yet?
Let's
Glow,
go.
Glorilla. Glorilla. But
GLO.
Glorilla's moon is in goddamn Capricorn.
Hardest
So
bitch out there.
I mean, but Capricorn rules the 10th house. 10th house is your house of career. You know, moon in Cancer, born on a full moon, born on a lunar eclipse, right? Jupiter opposed Mars, born under a T square. So it's like you have a rough upbringing, but if you deal with your challenges in a righteous way, you will be successful. And
Mhm.
Glorilla is she got friends, but she's the most successful friend. Right? Her star burns brighter than everybody around her. And I love this chart because this chart is like you can't tell me astrology ain't real. You gotta be smoking crack if you don't understand that this is a stars chart.
On God, because didn't Kamala have a sun opposed moon, and like she was like up in the sky for a hot ass minute, flexing and shit.
I
Mm.
don't know. Let me see. Let me see. You might be right in exact, but
And plus, I liked how earlier when you talked about, motherfuckers still got to make it through Libra. Look at where her Mars is at
That was the last one
in
to get
Libra.
went through it in a day.
You know what I'm
nah,
saying? And
you
Mars
right in
represents
exact.
balance.
You right in exact. Kamala
About Kamala,
sun is opposed her moon. She was born on a full moon too. So that shit. Rick Ross born on a full moon. I don't know. Everybody that's famous isn't born on a full moon, but a lot of motherfuckers is. So take that to the bank.
Mm.
straight guillotine with this shit.
Mm. Yeah, and with like the Jupiter and Saturn and Aries probably speaks to having that difficult childhood. You know, Saturn in the first house, it really is really binding early on. You know, and I think she got like a few siblings. You know, like I think it's like seven of them, and I know they and the family grew up in the church. Her name Gloria Hallelujah. And it may have been a time in her life where she didn't know much about the world, you know, and it was just kind of one of those things like the Little Mermaid, you know what I mean, wanting to be a part of that world outside, you know, and just thinking of all the things that you would do if given the chance. Um, oh, she the eighth out of 10 children. Yeah, that's a family right there.
Mhm.
Uh,
That,
wow. And I mean, she was born in Memphis. You talking
Mhm.
about Menefer?
Mhm.
Wasn't that a guy that like made weapons? That was like a Ogun type of energy, you
Yeah,
know?
talking about Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Her name Gloria Hallelujah. That's the most
Yeah, that's the most
medalist.
blasphemous shit ever.
No, it
the
is.
most blackest spiritual name you could think of.
Like what?
Hmm.
Gloria Hallelujah is
She
not
her
real.
her
Like
parent might have
Because
had
they,
that's
because
a
they
not
knew,
real,
they
bro.
knew, hallelujah, Glorilla is going to bring us his bread, and we
This
going to be straight.
this is
Hey,
not a
she
real
was.
place, bro. This is not a real place.
She was born on a lunar eclipse, bro. That is so crazy to me. Like when you bring up her chart, you said bring up her chart. Like I've seen her chart, and I was like, I seen how her chart was, and I was like, I'm gonna just Google and see if her birthday is a lunar eclipse because this is just how it looked to me, and sure enough, her birthday was a lunar eclipse. I'm like, oh god. Now,
mm-hmm.
now, now I understand why they gonna give her a contract. Right? They like this is the crazy shit, man. And then you sign the contract, you contract, you get smaller, right? And they just take your essence and your energy. So I mean, shit, man. It's
Brother
just
Hood,
such a
Brother Hood.
crazy game. Go ahead.
What was that? Say it again. Know thyself. And what was the third one? Be careful what you
Not too
swear
much.
to. You said what?
I think it was not too much is the third one. Oh, that's the second one.
I'm
Uh
trying to figure out. Yeah, not too much. Be
give
careful
give
of the
a
contract.
pledge, Give a pledge and trouble is at hand, right? Can mean either surety given for a loan or a bonding oath given during marriage ceremony or a strong affirmation of any kind. So what they're talking about is a contract. Whenever you sign a contract, trouble is at hand. But many people do not look at it that way because many people are not actually understanding how to become whole. They're really just trying to get a leg up, get a hand in the game, sign a contract. But if I had something that is going to contract, that means it's getting smaller. Glorilla's light is already her light. And this is why it's so important for people to study their chart, understand their energy, and make it to whereas they're able to succeed. As opposed to just like, all right, I'm a Leo, Leo gang. We get in the club free for July. Like, no, man, fuck that shit.
Nigga
Like,
said Leo gang.
Leo
Man,
gang,
and that
fuck
show
that.
you how people don't pay attention to the psychology of it, because it's like you only pay attention to one archetype when there's 11 more archetypes within yourself to understand to
12.
create. Yeah, I know he said one. That's why I said it's 11 left because you focus
No,
on the
no.
Leo.
That's why I corrected you. It's 12 left. It's 13 of us.
Oh, 13. My fault. Right, gang. See, but that's the program, bro. That's the matrix. Because we so stuck. Bro, what's this shit, gang? Like, come on. This shit real. It's a spiritual war going on, man.
Yeah, 2024 is the last year I'm allowed niggas to say 12 anymore. If you don't say 13, then you not in.
Now, somebody told me yesterday, bro, you really need to stop trying to teach these niggas sidereal because we all doing Western astrology anyway. So you just sound stupid. You just need to give it up.
Oh,
Like I created the ways of the stars and shit. Like I'm just like making shit up. Like, bro, like it's just how it is, man. Y'all can get mad at me all y'all want, bro. I'm
It's
not
like
going to lie for views.
difference. It's like the difference between somebody knowing how to use an oven versus a microwave.
Yeah, niggas be like, yo, I can cook it in a minute, bro. Stop trying to cook your shit for 45 minutes, bro. You can do way more. Like you just
That
wasting
shit
your
goes
time, bro.
that quick, son. Like, nah, son.
Bro,
Getting
just
it.
put it in the microwave and have your shit be radioactive, bro. You a zap up out of here, bro.
He
Hey,
gonna be
yo,
on
Right, 'cause
the planet.
yo, it's 2024. Y'all still using microwaves, bro? Like, come on, bro. Like, just warm that shit up in a pot. Like, come on. What did
I'm
they do in
not, or even
1945? Like, come on, y'all. Hey, come on, y'all. Like, we don't need microwaves. But no.
yeah, motherfuckers love that Western astrology, man. That shit so easy and liable to.
Yeah. Mm. I feel like people like the shit that resonates with them. Like my son, he told me he was like, "Man, I hate doing divisibility. I hate factors." I'm like, it's not something to hate, son. Like it's just a concept. Like it ain't nothing for you to hate. Like people don't like to learn new shit. They want the shit to become easy, and I'm like, man, I get it. Like you don't want to stretch your brain out, but like you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna kill you to learn new information. Like it don't stop you from growing to study your sidereal chart. Like and we still incorporate 12 sign astrology to a certain degree. It ain't like you just completely forget about it. It's just
Yeah,
an enhancement.
that's the weird part of it.
mhm.
When I hear people talk about Western and tropical and be so vigorous about it, I'm just like, dude, like Sidereal has all of those things, and we keep the shit that y'all already like intact. Like the only difference is that it's more accurate. You know what I'm saying? It's like the difference between looking at an automated clock and looking at a clock with two hands moving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, it's a
You
true
don't
experiment
understand
and
the
a true
automated clock
test.
if you know how to read digits, right? But if you don't understand how the hands move, how that works together, then you ain't gonna understand a real fucking clock. Like, I mean, sidereal is just a real clock. Like, I mean, what's the problem?
It's like looking at the clock and niggas taking off certain numbers and shit. Whereas in Sidereal, it gives you the whole clock. That's just it. You see all the stars.
But I think looking back at her chart, with Uranus and Neptune in Capricorn with her moon, it speaks to growing up in the church, and probably really not having any type of voice, especially if you the eighth child of 10 kids and y'all all grew up in the church, so now that she in a place where, she's one of the biggest rap artists out there, she gonna tell it on the mountain at this
Mhm.
point, so I think the way that she arised in the game, it was like a rebel without a cause. You know what I mean? Like she got so much energy, in her back to where like she just about to try to do everything she possibly can. And I think with Saturn trying, the moon is gonna slow her down. I think that's like the contract that she signed. You get what I'm saying? It's gonna be, and it might be for her own good. You know what I mean? Kind of like this is kind of like think of DMX if he really would have got some help dealing with his addiction after signing a contract. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you know when people get in trouble with the law, you get what I'm saying? It's sometimes for their own good. Because you never know how far they would have tried to take it. um, and I think also Glorilla got a lot of planets in those cardinal signs, so it's a bit of like a pioneer, somebody that's here to change the fold of like how we see female rap, whether she's meaning it to do it or not. Um, and then the Jupiter opposed Mars. I got that placement, and I think it just speaks to just like if you can reconcile this, the actions that you take, you know, will have a huge effect in your life. As you like embrace challenges. You know what I mean? Like you will every opportunity you will get like a jewel of some type of wisdom dealing with this. Because I think Jupiter just wants to kind of be in a lap of luxury, whereas Mars wants to constantly, move through challenges. I think it's almost like a lucky placement. I think.
Yeah, I think you hit it like right on the nose with the cardinal signs because it's like fourth house, first house, seventh house, 10th house, more of a focus in this chart. And then she has certain connections between her fifth house and her eighth house that make it to whereas when she incorporates sex or incorporates performance and sex, it's like a winning
Mm-hmm.
formula for her. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of where she's like transforming her career in the realms of sex, being a sex symbol and being like one of them ones as far as like beauty is concerned, right? And that's I
Right.
think that's her arc. But a part of her larger arc is that second deacon of Libra, which is the heartbreak card, which is the sorrow card, and Mars being in that card. So it's like the things that she have done have created a negative disposition in her viewpoint of men in relationships, but it does make interesting art. So,
Mm-hmm.
however you reconcile that, you turn it into a business. Like you take Mars in that second deacon of Libra, and you have a horrible relationship, but then it squares the moon in Capricorn. It squares Neptune in Capricorn. So it's like, all right, let me take my sorrow and convert it into a business. And then, like,
Mm-hmm.
that sun in Cancer, abundance, right? So it's like she can have an abundance of sorrow, an abundance of bad relationships. Hence, why she have a real where she like, I can't stand men. Like, fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that's a real energy coming from a real place. That's what makes it viral because she's not lying. But I know girls that get dogged by niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just they, and then they develop a mentality like, you know what? Fuck these niggas. But they
Mm-hmm.
not gorilla. They not writing raps and then doing an alchemy.
One of those things
Mm-hmm.
ways, but it's more prevalent now because we're talking about it because it's coming from a celebrity or star, if you will. But yeah, a lot of women have developed that based off of the track record of the partners that they have had. And the flip side to that is that a lot of men have developed more traits of being raised by a single mother because of that. And it really doesn't matter which side of this pill that you're on. Both of it, all of it is nasty work, really. But I can understand her position, especially if you're somebody who's been hurt your whole life.
Right.
I can see how the Chiron in the first deacon of Scorpio is pronounced in their chart. He definitely has some negative experiences with sexuality in general. And to like both of y'all points, her music may be therapeutic to some women that get dogged. You know what I mean? Like that might be bringing them out of some type of dark place. But it's so extreme to where it's just like I don't think everybody could benefit from her music. you know. And then with Lilith in the second deacon of Scorpio, you know, man, she might end up being a Black Madonna at some point, conjunct Pluto. You know, yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna put a theory out there. I think the cooter is so damn good that it changed her
it's
life.
making her crazy.
Like she got some good ass motherfucking him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling you, if the word ever got out on the streets, I bet you if she wrote a biography, people would be like, "Nah, that was some historical Yanni right there." Like Lilith conjunct Pluto. Pluto is
Yeah,
exalted in Scorpio, right?
and it's in the second deacon of Scorpio.
Like right in that second deacon, bro.
That's the card pleasure. That's
Con,
six of
con,
cups.
conjunct Lilith. Come on, man. Trying to no sextile the moon.
Yeah,
Trying the
sextile the
sun.
moon.
Like, come on now. I'm telling you, Glorilla, Glorilla, one of them ones where it be like, yeah, she fucked the boss. Now she goddamn the owner of the company. She part owner of the company type shit. Like I'm telling y'all, this astrology shit.
She
Like I
got
bet
that good Joy Taylor.
nah, Joy Taylor learned. I bet you a lot of these girls can learn a lot from Glorilla
For
in the
real,
pussy
for real,
department.
for real, for real.
I told
She got
you
that good
when
yeah,
that Mars
yeah.
and Libra, I said, oh, whore.
She got that good yeah, yeah, my nigga. Like
So yeah, I mean, shout out to
They
shout
said
out
that
shout
box
out to
box.
Glorilla, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to get blessed one day too. I like, it's just an oracular regime. You know what I'm saying? Like bring you
the
to a
thing is,
different
yeah,
dimension.
right.
Yeah, let me know if you need a
Nah,
reading.
Her
now
body
it
is Mike
all
Tyson.
makes sense, bro. Like, look at this. Look at I'm gonna show it to y'all.
Pluto conjunct
It was
Lilith.
oh yeah, they was at the goddamn basketball game. They was throwing up all them damn secret society Illuminati
What?
hand signs and shit. That's that regime, bro. Like, yeah, I know what that's. And then Yo Gotti threw up. Look at LeBron. LeBron, no, they was about to go to the goddamn Bohemian Grove after this, man. Damn.
At the Bohemian Grove. Oh, yeah.
Nah, man, I'm
Hey,
telling you.
you know who
No,
Glorilla looked like? Miss Greer from Steve Harvey show, The Principal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? She looked like her a little bit.
she looked like her. She looked like her. I can't think of her name, but
Regina something. It's Regina something.
She kind of resembled Miss Parker from Friday. Miss Parker? Miss Parker.
oh man. See, wasn't it the Steve Harvey show?
Yeah, the Steve Harvey show. Miss
Dog,
Greer, she was the principal.
she looked just like Shorty. Tell me that's not Glorilla,
Yes.
bro.
Yes.
Too.
Yes.
Tell me that's not Glorilla, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
That joint called The Game, right?
Mm. Oh man, they just keep redoing these clones over and over again.
Bruh. Oh man, her birthday is July 25th, bro.
No way. What's her name?
Wendy Raquel Robinson. Born
Yeah.
July 25th, 1967.
Oh,
Damn.
you can't tell me that's not Glorilla. Hold on, man. That's not Glorilla.
Go to
bro?
images. Go to images. Yeah, bro. That's
Oh,
the
man.
yeah. Yeah.
That's her all the way, bro.
That's her. Bro.
And she was born
On this basically the same day.
the same day, yeah. July
Come on.
25th.
Come on, man.
Hey, boy, I know they get mad at us.
Real world.
They like, look at these niggas.
It's not the real world, bro. You could find your doppelganger anywhere in this world. This is not the real world, bro.
Hey, pull up the Bow Wow picture, man. I'm really trying to come for some next.
The Bow Wow pick. What you mean?
What you mean by Bow Wow?
Nah, cause pause. What I mean is like, Bow Wow. You see that resemblance,
He used to be what?
I say you see that glow resemblance between Bow Wow.
You said Bow Wow looked like Glorilla.
Yeah, you see the resemblance.
Oh, you might be doing.
Was it Orlando Brown saying Bow Wow got that pussy? Orlando Brown talking about Bow Wow got that
bro.
pussy.
You said they all is the same character, AD.
Damn, how you pull that picture up like that quick, bro?
It was already online. It was already.
Damn, I done forgot about Lil Mama. Oh man.
Hold up.
It.
Yeah, bro.
Hold up.
They done clone somebody, man.
They done clone Tyrone. Hot damn it. Yo.
Oh shit.
Yeah, man. I don't know how Orlando know this shit, man, but he a clown.
Let me see, man.
Yo, this is crazy. This is crazy work, son. The similarities is too close, bro. Two of them ain't real. Let's get to that.
Yeah, one of them is an operative. We gotta one of them is a lioness. Let's just throw that out there.
Yeah.
It ain't Lil Bow Wow. Can't be.
Listen, Lil Bow Wow, MK Ultra, he gonna get that weird phone call with the beeping on the other side, and he just gonna go ham. Watch.
That's supposed to be Snoop Doggy Dogg nephew. He can't go out
Man,
like
he
that.
was signed to death row.
Man, Snoop Dogg turned him out early. Listen,
Man,
everybody,
I think Lil Mama the clone.
everybody
She was the
want
first Glorilla. She just didn't work out.
everybody want to talk about what the industry did to Justin Bieber. No, fuck that. What the industry did to Bow Wow.
Oh wait,
Let's talk that.
oh wait. Look at that
About
money
Justin
maker,
Bieber.
bitch.
He on the
Dude,
other side, and he might be the wrong gender. He might not be the gender y'all think he is. But Bow
look at that money
Little
maker, bitch.
JD was had him running around with him when he was 9, 10 years old.
Man, the fact that other people
What's the
put
main
this
thing that
picture
Orlando
together
Brand
is it's crazy.
You know how you get to the seat to authority? You gotta kiss the devil. How you kiss the devil? You kiss a ghost ass. Come on, man. It's even worse when you get into this shit.
I can't even say pause off of that because that's a ghost ass.
I'm just gonna say pause, bro.
Pause. Yeah.
I was still gonna say pause.
I'm still pausing. Just in case.
Just in
Oh,
case.
back in the day, if you wanted to become a witch, you had to kiss the devil. And to kiss the devil, you had to kiss a ghost ass.
Yo, you can't make this shit up, bro.
I mean, I feel like, like I was watching a video earlier, you had showed me, Rod, and it was talking about how people talk about millennials, but like millennials is like 3 generations down. Like Gen X's was the ones that was smoking crack, not the millennials.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't do
Facts.
nothing about them people that was smoking crack. Don't come for us acting like what's wrong with us. Our parents
Right.
smoked crack, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Crack. Then nobody else smoked crack but our parents. And then y'all be like, well, why don't the millennials have it together? Like, bro, we was at a disadvantage that nobody else had. And it's like,
and nobody want to talk about niggas act like that was
nah,
just an error and it was
yeah,
over with.
nah,
Nah,
that
bro.
was an atomic bomb.
I'm still dealing with the effects of crack. don't try to talk to me.
That is a fact. That is a fact. That is a fact. I still see the remnants of that shit in my cousins.
Yeah.
My cousins that was crack babies. Like, yeah.
And don't get me talking about the grandparents because they was on heroin. But I digress.
Man, you talking about
It
the crack babies?
went from heroin. It went from heroin with the baby boomers to coke with the millennials, coke and crack. Now we have fentanyl with the millennials.
Gen Z.
Gen Zs, I mean.
So if they got like, why we don't got no Gen Y?
I don't think we got that far yet, player.
Okay, I understand. I'm thinking of the alphabet. I'm like X, Y, Z. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just my fault.
They trying to be consistent. That's why they trying to invent a new gender to go with the alphabet crew. So I mean, they're trying to be consistent.
It's Gen Alpha. Now it's Gen Beta.
What's next? Gen Zip, Sip, Simp.
Oh God, Gen Switch.
Simp.
Gen Cuckold.
Man, guess what I just heard?
Cuckold is wild.
And we might have to verify it though, but I believe the source. My girl just told me that Glorilla and Cardi B got the same grandfather.
Yeah, they got the same grandfather.
Oh man.
Or they cousins, one of the two, but I think they got the same grandfather.
Yeah, they is cousins. This is a video of Glorilla. Like, that's my cousin.
We cousins because like my grandfather, he ended up even having a whole other family. Yeah. So it's so funny too to think about how like niggas be like, she not black. Your mama black. But
yo. That is crazy on so many different levels. I mean, they're not too much different in what they do. So, I mean, she answering for smashing a new nigga while she was pregnant with Offset baby,
That's crazy.
which is wild work. Like I don't even know how you walk that one back. You letting another nigga hit my kid in the head. Like I listen, I don't even
Oh, bro, come on, man.
walk that one back, bro. Like I mean, to
What you
her
talking about?
defense, right? Maybe she just know it ain't your baby. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talk about Cardi B and
Maybe
Offset.
he knows this ain't his kid.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey man, speaking
that's
of
like the
Offset,
president.
you
That's
know
like
what
the
nigga owe
presidents.
little
Right?
TJ like some
Yeah, George Bush and Obama's cousins.
Shit, George Bush, Obama, and Robert McCain is cousins.
Hold up. Kamala Harris. It's now
Do it. Don't do it.
makes sense. Makes sense now.
Yeah, they got the same
Nah, do it.
grandfather
Do it.
because
Truth is stranger than fiction. Let these niggas know, gang.
Oh man, here we go. Y'all didn't ask for the spiritual bag. Y'all gonna get it.
So Glorilla was campaigning for Kamala Harris. And then we all know Cardi B did that interview with Joe Biden. So, and then it ain't like these the best female rappers in the world. They have a
Nope.
specific message and a specific agenda, and they politically align. And we don't even want to like call it out for what it is.
I mean, Megan in that clique too.
Megan Thee Stallion and that clique, they on some weird political type stuff. It ain't even about the music. It's about the
right.
politics, and then they all related. That's just like okay. Now this is the same shit that they say about the presidents, ain't it?
Yep. Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if Kamala cousin run for run for the office in 4 years.
No, but it sounds like some lioness type shit. I mean, Glorilla, that sound like gorilla. You know, guerrilla warfare. You know what I mean? Like how she, how she aligning and how she moving through it. You know what I mean? The type of shit she's saying. I would say beware. Beware. Just watch. Because they not gonna not show you who they are. But that shit weird. Shit weird, man. Like you running for president and you got rappers on stage. I don't care if you a male president with male rappers on stage. You run for president and you got rappers on stage. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Was this just emotional an emotional attack or something like that? Like what why did you do this shit? Like I don't know, man. Man, I don't know. This shit weird, man. I'm gonna just keep drinking water and meditating on my nigga.
Yeah, like what else you gonna do?
Yeah, right. Shit crazy.
I mean, because if the ladies is doing this, niggas ain't got a choice. Niggas ain't got a chance in heaven, nigga. Like if they sleep with someone, nigga. Y'all niggas gonna have to go back to the drawing board and come up with some new cloak and dagger shit, because that's different, bro. John, just be your girl and get that MK Ultra call in the morning, nigga. Shit. Shit. Random bells just start going off 3 o'clock in the morning, nigga. She jump up like it's World War III. Listen, nigga.
Mm.
Listen, nigga.
Yeah, man. Perspective.
Definitely.
That's what I would say. Be careful. But man, I think had a long day. About to lay it on down, man. Y'all got any closing thoughts for the family before we get up out of here?
And just thank y'all for rocking out with us this evening.
Okay.
I hope y'all have a great Monday through Friday and see y'all soon.
Yeah, I shade to the family. I shade to the ancestors, known and unknown. Thank y'all for rocking out with us again. Appreciate the space. And yeah, looking forward to seeing y'all in a day or so.
All right. See everybody on the flip side. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace.